I am reacting to Ghost's Opus Eponymous, their debut album, which I didn't know was only like 10 years ago. When did this album come out? 2010. Oh, 15 years. Okay. 15 years they've been around. And that's crazy. They've put out 4, 5, 6 albums, and their 7th album is coming out. Damn. Okay, we got a lot to get through. Let's dive in, shall we? This is Opus Eponymous. Oh, this is... We're getting ready for Mass, ladies and gentlemen. Are we gonna go right into the... Ooh. Ooh. Oh, right in there with the bass, huh? Hell yeah! Stop. Your first word, your introduction into this, the first word out of your mouth is Lucifer. I mean, that's ballsy, man. Okay, let's just back up a little bit, right? Let's just back up a little bit. Also, I'd like to point out that the time of this song, the timestamp of the song, or the length of the song is 333, which is, I mean, pretty... that's pretty clear right there. It's 333 times 2 would give us... That's right. Smudge and bleeding palms because of the nails, right? What? This is a very Black Sabbath-y sound. I like it. Alright, before we... Ooh. Ooh! I like that. That's very good. Oh. Oh. Huh? Ooh. I don't know what any of these words mean. I learned Conclavi means with nails, Con Dio means with God. But the other stuff I guess I'll find out. Oh, we're doing the fade out. Okay. What an intro song. Like, intro to the band. This is their first song to the world. I mean, I've heard that this band has gotten flack because of their satanic image, but I mean, the music, very Black Sabbath-y, very nice. I love that song. But just the balls on this guy. For your first song, your introduction to the world, the first word out of this song is Lucifer. That couldn't have gone over well. I don't know. Like, I want to go, deep dive into the lore of the band and learn whether, like... Because the devil, Satan, the Lucifer, these could just be a storytelling device, right? He's using the imagery, the theological sort of mythology of Lucifer and the devil and Satan and all of that to tell his own story, right? He's using that to tell a story, which could very well be the case. And I'm all for that. That was Clavi Con Dio. I like that. I like it. I also like that the timestamp, like the time... signature of the song, not signature, the time of the song is 333. I love that. The next song is Ritual. Let's go. Oh. Oh. Wait a second. Did that not sound like Megadeth? What's the song? Wait, let it get to the riff.
When you take a mortal man.
Was that Symphony of Destruction? That's Symphony of Destruction, right?
When you take a mortal man and you put him in control, watch him become a god.
That thing, right? That's the same song. I'm thinking, because that riff sounds exactly like that. Oh, okay. Woo! That's a bar right there. Tonight we've summoned for a divine cause. Remembrance? No. But for their future loss. Our enemies will fall before us. We know this. We've seen this. So we are gathered to pay, to pay respect. But they are going down. This chapel of ritual smells of dead human sacrifices from the altar. Bedouins? What the fuck does Bedouins mean? A nomadic Arab of the desert. Huh? Bedouins and nomads carried through the time. Okay, so Bedouins and nomads mean the same thing. Carried through the times, through pestilences and famines, these ancient scrolls of rhymes. Oh, the messengers of God. The messengers of whoever, right? The messengers traveled through pestilences and famines. They fought through hunger and disease, and they carried the scrolls of rhymes. They carried the word through the ages. Love that. Okay.
Recite now from the text, pray for all to die.
Right, so they're talking about the devil who was introduced in the previous song. This is such an 80s vibe. This is like Judas Priest kind of. Oh, Nema? What's Nema? Well, I googled Nema and it says National Electrical Manufacturers Association. I don't think that's what he's talking about. Ooh. How do they do this? They're talking about some really dark shit, but he's... Ooh, okay. And it's a bop. He's talking about some dark shit, but it's packaged as a bop. Woohoo! Yeah, but this is very Judas Priest, Boston vibes. Kansas, like those 80s rock bands, but with a modern touch and a very dark theme. So, oh, we're also doing a fade out in this one. Okay, interesting. That's a choice to do it 2 songs in a row. Okay, I like that a lot. The last song had a very Black Sabbath-y vibe. This one is a little softer, the pop rock style, like bands like Boston, Journey, Kansas, those kind of vibes, which I like. I like the classic rock stuff. I grew up on that stuff, so this is a very nostalgic thing for me, but they're also a very modern band. And they talk about the devil. Awesome. Okay, next up, this is Elizabeth. I wonder who Elizabeth is, if she is a character in this narrative that he's spinning here. Let's go. Whoa. Whoa. We went from like Journey in Kansas to in Boston to like Metallica and Anthrax kind of. What the shit?
Underneath the moonlight of all the area skies.
What's the significance there? That is a very difficult thing to do. I like that. The way he's singing and then at the end he's literally jumping up an octave. That is a very difficult thing to do when you sing. And this guy's doing it line after line. Interesting.
In piercing ice and motionless, our hearts are black and blue.
Elizabeth. I've never heard it pronounced like that. Elizabeth. Battery? What are these words? I'm very curious who is the Elizabeth that he's talking about here. Oh shit. That was a weird solo. Ooh. So like another thing I like about this, it sounds very, I don't want to say amateur, but like, I guess amateur is a style of production because this is his first album, right? And from what I know, Tobias Forge, the dude, he recorded and produced everything by himself, right? So it sounds very like homemade, I guess, is a word I want to use. It sounds like amateur style production because this is his first album. So I hear like the production quality between the latest track, right, and this, there's such a huge difference. So, you know, for what it's worth, it sounds amazing. Like this is it's a weird song, this one. I mean, I would love to know who's this Elizabeth that he's talking about specifically, because I've known that he likes to weave a narrative with his songs. And the previous song is basically, you know, let's rise up and go to war for our Dark Lord. And then we have this character, Elizabeth, just thrown in there. So I need to know who that is. That's going to take some research. Carrying on.
Our ancient countess was refused your desires will.
See, I like that.
To breathe in pure fresh blood, gin pus and virgin skin. Elizabeth in the castle, where was my soul?
Wait a minute.
Forever young Elizabeth.
Oh, it's about a person named Elizabeth Bathory. That's what Bathory is. It's about this Hungarian countess called Elizabeth Bathory. Dude, also, this is interesting to me. This band has their own wiki. Okay, this is going to be very helpful for me. So, all right. The song Elizabeth is about a Hungarian countess, Elizabeth Bathory, who's known for torturing and killing virgins. Oh! Why? She would do so and then complete her ritual by bathing in their blood. She did this because she had a firm belief that it would keep her forever young. She was found to have murdered hundreds of women in her time. She started with her cruelty after her husband's death in 1604. After being found guilty of a crime, she was confined to the depths of her castle chambers where she died. In 2010, the band produced a 3-track demo and the vinyl-only single Elizabeth before releasing the studio album. Dude, what? Okay. That's not at all creepy. Elizabeth Bathory.
You're still alive, Elizabeth.
So now, okay, now the lyrics make sense.
In the castle where was my soul. Forever young, Elizabeth. Bathory. In the castle you're dead. You're still alive.
So, all right, it basically what that wiki page said. So she was locked up in like the, what do they call, the oubliette, right? The oubliette, it's basically a hole in a castle where you're locked and you're just left to die. So that's how she was punished. Damn, dude. This woman was evil. Buried in the blood-drenched earth, these barren lands of ice, she was an evil woman with an evil old soul. Piercing eyes, emotionless, her heart so black and cold. Elizabeth in the chasm. Okay. You're still alive, Elizabeth. Yeah, because she was buried there and just, put in that hole and just left. Right? Her acts of cruelty and her lust for blood makes her one of us. So the devil told her, go bathe yourselves in virgin blood and you'll be forever young. Dark times, man. Dark times. All right. Next song is Stand By Him. We're plowing through. This album has 9 songs, which is not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Okay. Okay. It's also very Metallica-y. Metallica type.
The devil's power is the greatest one.
Okay.
Sinners holy is just the sun.
When you turn away from the light, got it? Yep.
A temptress smitten by the blackest force. A vicar bitten blind in intercourse.
What? A vicar. A vicar's a holy person, right? Like a priest or a preacher or whatever. Bitten blind in intercourse. So, bitten blind, like he had his eyes plucked out or something? Bitten blind in intercourse. I mean, intercourse, obviously, he was doing something that preachers don't do because they've taken a vow of celibacy, right? So, for a preacher to be engaged in the act of intercourse is a sin. But then he's bitten blind in intercourse, which is an interesting lyric. All right, let's move on.
Shepard struck her down. Oh, now a Sabbath, she's unbound.
Sabbath, the holiest day, okay.
Tis the night of the witch tonight.
Again with these poppy ass lyrics, man. I love it.
She stands by me. Tis the night of the witch. Tis the night of the witch tonight. And the vengeance is hers for as long as she stands by me.
Interesting. Ooh, ooh. Whoa. Okay, okay, we picked the fuck up. We picked it up. And we slowed it down.
All witchcraft comes from a carnal lust, which is a woman's insatiable.
Jesus. Which, okay, yeah, I mean, that line is basically the belief of the Dark Ages where they thought, you know, witchcraft is from carnal lust or woman insatiable. Anything that a woman did that was like out of the ordinary, they just labeled it as witchcraft and burned them alive, right? So that's kind of the thought behind that line. All witchcraft comes from carnal lust. Like, if a woman experiences lust, she's a witch. But if a man does it, it's okay. Which is bullshit. So that's an interesting line there. But also, I love this. Like, on our Sabbath, she's unbound. So on our, like, on the holiest night, but for this, let's say, cult, she's unbound, which means she's untethered, she's free, right? It's the night of the witch. So this particular witch, whichever character this is, and the vengeance is hers for as long as she stands by him, as long as she honors the pact that she made with the devil, which is the perception, right? A temptress smitten by the blackest force. So that's literally her being pulled in by the Dark Lord. And a vicar bitten blind in intercourse. Maybe that was part of a ritual that she had to do. You need the eyes of a vicar. You need the eyes of a vicar who breaks his vow. Like, that's kind of like a ritual thing. And then she was given her powers, right? Tempt a man of the cloth and then wound him severely. The witch hammer struck her down on a Sabbath. Yeah, so all witchcraft comes from carnal sin, which is a woman insatiable, right? It's amazing. The riffage is another level too. And you got that organ laid under. Ooh, that's great.
The moon shone bright above her trial.
Sacrificed under a full moon. Yep.
Flame sate through her body defile. The witch hammer struck her down. On our Sabbath she's unbound.
The witch hammer, the Malleus Maleficarum, right? That's the witch hunting book, which was called the Malleus Maleficarum, the witch hunting instruction manual that people used to hunt down witches. The witch hammer struck her down, so she was hunted by the people who were scared of her power. But on the Sabbath, she's unbound. It's the night of the witch. Oh, interesting. Ooh. Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, that sounds so familiar to me. That sounds so familiar to me. Wait a second. Okay, I love that. That song was amazing. Are you kidding me? So it's telling the story of this witch who made a pact with the devil. And, you know, she was unbound. She was free to do what she wanted, but she was hunted down. But this part here speaks about how she maybe broke free. Because it's saying, as flames ate through her body defiled, the witch hammer struck her down. So this is like about the perception of the witch trials or the witches, right? Because to the outside looking in, the witches were like evil. They made a pact with the demon or the devil to practice witchcraft. And all it was like, honestly, the witch trials were just that. They were a witch hunt, which is where the phrase comes from. It was nothing. It was a goose chase. There were no witches. They were just women who were intellectuals, women who stood up to the patriarchy and then were branded as witches and burned down. But the perception of them is that, oh, they must have made a pact with the devil in order to gain this level of power, right? And this is adding the fantasy element to it, where they actually did have witchcraft and, you know, they went through all of that. So, oh, I like that. That song was great. But that riff at the end, it's on the tip of my freaking tongue. All right, we'll have to come back to it and maybe see then. But that was Stand By Him. Love it. The next song is Satan Prayer. Gee, I wonder what this is about. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Believe in one God, do we?
Okay. So this is just the evil version of the Lord's Prayer, which is just the normal version is we believe in one God, who created heaven and earth, and in His Son. See, I forgot. I haven't gone to church in a long time, but this is basically the inverse. This is the anti-prayer, the Satan prayer, right? So he's just taken the actual Lord's Prayer and shifted it to become this thing, right? Interesting. It's not so complex. It's just literally the antithesis to that.
Hear our Satan prayer for the coming of seed.
Coming of seed, probably the Antichrist. Bro, this is like, it's insane to think about. These guys are from what? Not, I mean, it's one guy who then makes music with session musicians, basically, right? Hires them for the tour, hires them for the videos. But it's basically him, Tobias Forge, creating all of this, writing, producing all of this, right? And he's from Sweden, isn't he? Like Ghost is a Swedish band. So yeah, so they're pretty, I don't want to say atheist up there, but they're not super religious. So this probably went over okay in like the Scandinavian countries. But for this guy to actually for Ghost to become a huge band in America is a huge deal. Because their first album and a lot of their songs probably did not go over well with the first listen. Because this song is literally just a prayer to the devil, or a prayer about the devil, whatever. But this is basically the Dark Lord's Prayer as opposed to the Lord's Prayer. This could not have gotten over well with the American crowd. And it's insane to think about in this day and age that people get hung up over shit like that still. But it happens. And, as a song, this one's all right. I'm not putting this up there with the other ones, but this is okay. This feels like filler song, but it's still pretty cool. The riff is still pretty cool. I won't take away that. Like this, Clavi Con Dio, the first word out of his mouth is Lucifer. So like... I am curious if he created these songs purely just to fuck with people. Purely just for the reaction of like the religious crowd.
For the coming of seed. Hear our Satan prayer. Our time to see your creed. Hear our Satan prayer. For the coming of seed.
It's also worth noting that the fact that this music exists itself is a huge deal, right? That's a weird noise. Like, you couldn't write songs like this about any other religion. Like, you could never write songs like this about any other religion, right? You try writing a song like this about Hinduism or Islam, they would come after you with pitchforks and flaming swords. So, like, the fact that this music exists, Christians are uptight enough as it is, right? Pretty much every religious group is. But this is like, yeah, man, it's crazy. And this was his debut. This was his debut album. It's insane. All right, next song, Death Knell. So this is the bell that tolls at a death or funeral. That's what this song is. That is a very Dave Grohl type thing to do, which is in turn a very disco type thing to do. I mean, he's also very tongue-in-cheek about this stuff because he's using the typical anti-religious, anti-Christian sentiments, right? The inverted cross, witchcraft, virgin blood, all of that shit. Oh, I forgot I'm on Twitch. Can I even say virgin anymore? Is that a thing? Whatever. It's not like this VOD is staying up. Anyway. Right. Okay, so he's obviously talking about the creation of the Antichrist, the conception of the son of the devil. Ooh! Dude, that's fire. I love that. That riff is nice. Tasty. That's funny because he spelled out the name under spell. That's funny. It's a very synthy sounding bell. Like it's very clearly played on a keyboard. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the style he's going for. So, alright, I guess this song, he's kind of answering the question of for whom the bell toll. Well, it tolls for thee. Thee being whoever is there to receive the beast of evil, the Antichrist, the child of Lucifer. So this is funny. I mean, he's 666 here, XXX. So he's talking about the Dark Lord building his army. Right? The spawn of Satan, basically. Alright. I mean, in order, these songs definitely have a bit of a narrative, right? Because Stand By Him is about a witch hunt, which in essence could be Elizabeth herself, right? The countess, the whatever, the Hungarian countess who was practicing witchcraft. She made a deal with Satan to stay forever young by bathing in the blood of virgins. And then Stand By Him is about the witch hunt that they basically enacted by hunting down all the women who they thought were witches, who were Satanist, satanic, whatever, right? And then Satan Prayer is basically them invoking the Dark Lord to come forth and wipe out humanity. And then the bell tolls. The bell tolls. The devil is here. He's creating his army. And then the next song is called Prime Mover, which is another word for creator, prime mover, right? And then the ninth song is Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible, but it also means beginning, which is funny because this is the last song on the record. So, yeah, there's definitely a narrative being poured through here. All right, this is Prime Mover. Let's go. I'm reading the lyrics here. What the fuck? Okay, let's hear him deliver it. Ooh. Oh, okay. That kind of sounds like a heartbeat, you know? Because like the child is born, kind of. So that's the heartbeat. Ooh. Whoa, the riffage in this one is crazy. Secretive Nun. Okay. He's a varicose phallus. He said the devil has a veiny dick. So the secretive nun is the mother of. She's bearing the old one's bastard son. She's pregnant with this child of Satan because he said a veiny dick obsessed and poised her. Dude, okay. Yeah, I bet he did. Prime mover, maternal slave, the mother. Sounds like some parody. I mean, yeah, it's very much like he knows what he's doing. That's why I said, like, I feel like he wrote these types of lyrics just to fuck with people, right? He's telling a story here of, like, you know, this mythological type of thing, this fairy tale, which is based in actual myth that Christians believe, right? The Antichrist and the devil's spawn and revelations and all of that. But he's doing it in a way that's like, people are obviously going to get upset with these lyrics. And I think that's the point. He's very graphic on purpose. Like, he's talking about a varicose phallus. That's a veiny dick? What? Child of her grave. Okay. Damn. Damn. Filth in her womb, father waiting in tomb. Ooh. Ooh, I like that. Sacerdos, Antichrist. Machinery insect. Right, that's pretty obvious right there, sure. Right. Like prime mover being, of course, Satan. Maternal slave being the mother, but she's a slave because she's a slave of Satan. That was wait. The juxtaposition here that he's talking about, like mother, filth in her womb, obviously the Antichrist, filth. Father waiting in tomb. That kind of has like a vampiric element to it, right? The father is waiting in the tomb. He is undead. And he is waiting for her, right? Child of her grave basically means the birth of this thing will kill her. That's not too complex. But it's absolutely ridiculous lyrics, right? It's very fantastical, very sort of. This guy's a storyteller. He's a storyteller, and I like it. He's leaning into like the ridiculousness of how some of these words sound. But I cannot get over varicose phallus, man. That is crazy. All right, this is Genesis, the final song on the album. There are no lyrics to the song, so what are we looking at? An instrumental? He broke out the old Casio keyboard for this one. That's what it sounds like. Is this an instrumental? Ooh, okay. Oh no. I think it's like a high bass. He's playing it high on the bass. And of course it's layered in with some like synth. Damn. Which I guess, okay, that kind of makes sense with it being called Genesis. If he's playing on the words, like Genesis being the first book of the Bible, Genesis also means beginning. There wasn't a lot that was said right at that time because, I mean, like Adam and Eve were the only humans alive if you believe in the myth, but a lot of it was just pure creation, everything just coming to life. And I think that's what he's trying to convey in this. Or rather the inverse. He's unmaking everything. It's a new beginning. Kind of. Kind of sounds like trumpets. Which is significant for another reason. But I think there's something to be said there with the galloping beat. Because it invokes the image of like soldiers riding into battle, you know, like the gallop of a horse. But then now he's broken it down and we've broken out the acoustic guitar. Oh. What? That sounds like something you'd hear in a Quentin Tarantino movie. To me, like the music sounds like, yeah, he's either creating something entirely new or he's unmaking, remaking, who the fuck knows. Because like in the last song, the Antichrist has been born and now his, his agenda is being carried out. And that's why there's not a lot to be said in this final song. It's just there. It's just the music, which is all that will be left after everything is gone. What a debut album for a band. For a guy, right? Because this is one guy doing all this. This is, yeah, man. I loved like the songs, like the first song, Con Clavi Con Dio. I loved Ritual. Stand By Him was great. Death Knell was amazing. And then Genesis was like a nice song to just vibe to. Like songs to vibe to for the end of the world kind of vibe, you know? That was pretty cool.